Good afternoon. We're about ready to start. Thank you all for coming. Before we start, we're going to let Ms. Bumgarner do the honors of what she does every history class at the beginning.
May we all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome everyone. As y'all know, we're here to celebrate Dianne Bumgarner's 25 years of teaching as our history teacher here at Covenant Village, and to congratulate her on her real retirement. And this is not an April Fool's joke. She is really retiring. Well, I know what you were hoping. I was talking to Dianne earlier probably last week, and she was mentioning it'll be so nice on Mondays not to get up and have to study. So that's what she does. She gets up on Monday studies for her class, but she said she will truly miss everybody. She was also sharing with me just today that she had taught 25 years in the public school system, and she's taught 25 here. And it would have been more, but she had to take care of her sick daughter when she was born. So we're glad she's here. And at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Dellinger to come up. Mr. Dellinger, it was a former director of all the social studies teachers in Gaston County. So he was responsible for Ms. Bumgarner getting the job here. So we'll let him say a few words.
Thank you all for inviting me to be here today. This is a special occasion because I'm going to assume I might have a student in this group today because I started in 1965 at the old Franklin Ashley Senior High School, and I assume some of you are Ashley graduates. So it's good to be with you today and to have this opportunity to talk to you about Ms. Bumgarner, and that you are recognizing her for the quality teacher that she is. Many teachers end up teaching just what they've been taught by a professor or what they've read in a couple of books, because most of us in this room, when we were in high school, we either were educated in history with the rise of the American nation or the pageant of American history, were the two textbooks. And the rise of the American nation was for almost, I'm pretty sure, at least 15 years, the main textbook for the state of North Carolina, picked by the North Carolina Textbook Commission. So most of us are either products, or that was when we taught. In 1965, we were teaching the rise of the American nation. But when I got this phone call asking Mr. Dellinger, would you recommend somebody for an opportunity to come and teach history to us? And I know many of you in this room have four-year degrees, and many of you, all of you, are high school graduates. So I said, you will need somebody who not only will teach what they've been taught, but that they will also be a teacher that is a scholar. And to me, a scholar is a continual learning person, continually reading and being challenged by what they read, because Ms. Bumgarner has always, with her students, she not only has given them basic information on the state standard course of study, but she also gave them the primary documents on which that writing in the textbook is based on, or should have been based on. But Ms. Bumgarner has always been a scholar, a reader, always preparing for her classes. And I'm going to assume at this point, and definitely assured, that that's what she has done with you. Each and every lesson was a prepared lesson, a studied lesson, and in depth. And if she gave you not just one viewpoint, but she would give you 4 or 5 different viewpoints, whether it's from the constitutional period, the Federalist era, or whether it's from the Roaring '20s or the Gilded Age or World War, prior to the First World War, the Second World War. And same with Second World War and the other preceding wars that we've had over the years. And the big thing that Dianne has always done with her kids is she has always challenged them. And I'm assuming you have been challenged by her also to have food for thought, because we should be continual learners from the time we're born and we hear our parents' voices, and we learn to recognize those voices until God decides that our time is over, and we hear the final voices with us as we depart this world to see Him. So I want to thank you for giving Ms. Bumgarner this opportunity to be with you, and that you've learned a whole lot more than I had an opportunity to teach you, or that Gaither Klein, or Armin Mando, or Jenny Ware, or any of the other teachers at Ashley and Ashbrook High School. So I hope you have enjoyed Ms. Bumgarner and the lessons that she's taught you, given you different viewpoints, and has challenged your mind to think in depth about an event or about a person. She just doesn't deal with personalities of history, but she's dealt with the circumstances of history, those that preceded and those that came after, and the results. And you and I live in this world today, and we're fortunate to be in this country. Each and every day we have to thank ourselves and our good Lord and our parents who were here preceded us for the opportunity to be born in this country, to be educated in this country, and to be able to work in this country, and to appreciate this great nation. Thank you.
My remarks are a little different. It comes from a personal relationship that we have had. The Howe family has known Dianne since the early 1990s. Our son Mark was a student in her U.S. history class at Ashbrook High School, located here in Gastonia. Mark thoroughly enjoyed the class. Dianne is an outstanding teacher. She's very intelligent. She is especially knowledgeable on the subject of history. She's a motivator, and she always shows a great concern for her students. Dianne took a group of Ashbrook students to Washington, D.C., and Mark was fortunate enough to be a part of that group. He enjoyed the trip. He learned a lot about Washington and about our government, thanks to the excellent leadership of Dianne. This student-teacher relationship continued when Mark enrolled at NC State University in Raleigh in the fall of 1992. And while he was a student there, he was given the opportunity to select the teacher who had influenced him the most during his education experience. And you know who he chose? He chose Dianne Bumgarner. And she and her husband, Paul, traveled to Raleigh, where they attended a banquet, and she received her award. And as I looked over her items, that award is on this table. So, but the relationship didn't stop there. Mark went on and got his master's degree at Georgia Tech, and he took a job in the Dallas, Texas area. After a period of time, he met a young Texas lady, Laura, and was married in May of 2004 in Grapevine, Texas. Again, Dianne and her husband, Paul, traveled to Dallas-Fort Worth, and they were able to attend the rehearsal dinner, the wedding, and the reception. And that meant a lot to the Howe family.
their relationship continues with a Christmas card and occasionally a text, but they do keep in touch with each other. So it's been a wonderful student-teacher relationship. Ken and I have been at Covenant for almost 3 years, and we have attended Dianne's weekly history class. We've learned a lot. We've had a lot of fun along the way. So the Bumgarner relationship continues. But now she deserves to retire. And Dianne, we love you and we wish you the very best in your retirement years.
I never cared much for history in high school. I tell you what, she changed my mind immediately. I learned to love history and love her, and I can't thank Dianne enough for what she brought to all of us. It's been very meaningful, and it made me see both sides of the issues that we studied in history, and made us see it as more than we see in the history book. And she just made it so interesting. You had to enjoy it and gain from it. And Dianne, you answered my questions very well.
Question.
Thank you, dear. You mean so much to all of us, and thank you for your teaching and all your friendship. Thank you.
In various schools that I've been through the years, I've sat at the feet of outstanding instructors and professors, but you're in another category. Every time Dianne teaches, it's obvious that she has spent a lot of time updating herself and becoming current on the subject that we were discussing that day. So I've admired you, I've learned a lot from you, and you have given everyone in the class a chance to share their experience as well. So I was encouraged earlier when you said that once you get rested up, you may come back and become active again.
Of the Constitution.
What?
Just the Constitution.
Well, it'll start there. But how many people could fill this room in honor and respect for you? Okay.
That she could inspire me. She's inspirational, and she's a giver, and I was in awe of her classes, and she made me want to learn and want to be on schedule, and I'm just thankful for her time, her class. I don't know what we're going to do after she leaves. It's going to be a sore loss on our part, but we understand that you need to retire, and I'm in retirement and I'm having a blast, so you'll love it. So anyway, thank you.
I was speaking to my minister recently about preparation, and he said when he was in seminary, he was taught for 1 hour's preparation, it was 1 minute of presentation. I believe you follow that rule. I love you very much.
We're fairly new to Covenant Village, less than 3 years, but I was delighted to hear there was a history class when we came here. I do love history, and I have really enjoyed the intellectual stimulation that is so important to us folks who don't get it as much on a day-to-day basis as we used to, and so I want to thank you for providing that for us. Thank you.
I just want to say how much I have appreciated the opportunity of being here. When I was first asked to come, I asked Gene, what do I teach? And he said, just teach what you teach in your class. Now, did I do that? I have no idea what I did that first year. I don't know, but it must have been okay, because in June, I said, I'm leaving, and they said, you're leaving? I said, well, it's vacation time. Teachers, get the vacation off. And they said, but we don't, so you're staying. So I never got summer vacation off. What I have found is that all of you are smarter and more intelligent and more inquisitive than any high school student I ever taught. And I know there's a couple of you in here that I taught. But you are very much more inquisitive. You asked very hard questions. And T says I answered his question. He means questions with a S. And I tried my very best to look them up and remember what he asked. I tried my best to do what any of you wanted me to do. And I hope and I pray that God will be with all of you, and that He will be with me, and my headaches will go away. And come September, October, I'm hoping that I can come back and do the Constitution with you. That's my hope right now. And I wanted to tell you that the flag we talked about and where to put it, we did find out it will not be ready. It's framed. It finally came in, but it's being framed and will not be ready for another week and a half or 2 weeks. And when it's ready, I'm sure that Sherry or someone will let you know. And it can go in this room.
Yes.
So think about where you want to put your flag, okay? I love all of you so much. And Preston, I can't say enough about you and what you have done. I know nothing about PowerPoint, and you're very aware of that. He is quite aware of my stupidity when it comes to that. But thank you for doing that and being there whenever I needed you. And you were remarkable.
Thank you, Dianne.
Are remarkable.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So obviously this is Mrs. Bumgarner's day, but a couple of us want to corner Mr. Dellinger and make sure that he finds our next history teacher, all right? So do not let him leave this room without some names. A number of us are very tied to not only secondary education but higher education, and one of the things that we know about that is when we have a legacy person like yourself, that there is a kind of unique designation. This may be the first one in the history of life plan communities in the entire world, but you are now our Covenant Village History Teacher Emeritus. Put that on your resume.
Make certain you see these. That's what I learned when I was teaching in high school. Except for that of course is here.
Mrs. Bumgarner, she refers to PowerPoint, that she didn't know that. Do you remember, though, when she's doing the overhead projector not that many years ago, and make all those slides and all those things, we make copies. So I think she's done very well. So thank you. We're always willing to learn something new, aren't we?
Well, if I have to, I have to. Those overhead projectors just, it wouldn't do a map very well, and I'd have to go, the map is going like this, and you don't remember that? Please look at the map doing this. And so I was very glad when we finally had to do this, but I was scared to death.
And also, don't forget, during COVID, she came in the back door, couldn't come in the wellness center, and Dr. Blake, one of our residents, he videoed her so we could put it on our TV, our in-house TV. So we did that during COVID too. So I think you've done a lot. So thank you. Thank you for your dedication and service to Covenant Village and all of our residents and to staff. Again, a special thank you to Ms. Bumgarner, and if you haven't already, be sure and sign the book. Preston got this book for her. She can write anything in it. She's got her awards up here. There's a basket if you want to write down anything to leave her a little note or a card. You're welcome. And all I can say is you're going to be greatly missed. So thank you so much. So if you'd like to lead us off, and we'll cut the cake. Has everyone seen the cake before we cut it up? Yeah. So we're going to let Ms. Bumgarner start, and if you haven't already, come on up. We'll have appetizers. Be sure to take a minute to talk to her and anything you want to say to her before she leaves today. Thank you for coming.
We had 56 people last week in class, and I was amazed. And I don't even know how many are in here today, so it's amazing. She's going to come. You did the first. How did you? And then about this. Yep, that's good. She just didn't lose our son. Oh. What do you do?